Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. So, today I wanted to speak about how the collective dragon energy has been rising and what that basically means for all of us on the spiritual awakening path, especially twin flames also. So, this has come to me through some dreams and through uh, some communication with my guides and these dragon energies that I got very curious about because of these experiences that I was having, especially in my dream state. And I got to know that the collective dragon energy that is essentially the gatekeeper energy of Mother Earth has been awakening, and it has been happening for many months. And literally, new dragon energies, which were asleep at the base of the oceans, they have started to awaken. So, what has happened of late is that we know the consumerist lifestyle that we are all living in, right? We see it around us. We see that even discussions on environmental protections have gone off the table now. No one even cares about how much plastic we all are using, how much waste we are all generating. It's just about access and convenience. It's about mindless consumerism. We all have way more number of clothes and shoes and things that we ever will use, and many others have way many more. Maybe people on the spiritual path still want to restrict this and become more conscious of what we own, but many others who are not on this path, their identities are linked to their possessions to fill their inner emptiness. They fill it up with mindless consumption of so much. So we see species going extinct, very, very fast. We see the habitat loss that has happened to animals around us, right? Like, especially as I live in India, I see it's a very rapidly urbanizing country and so much habitat loss, so much of a loss of green spaces that it's not even being spoken of. In many countries, we don't even, natural produce, natural foods are not even seen to be normal. They are seen to be luxury, or they seem to be very expensive to buy natural foods like vegetables, etc. So this is the time that we're living in. It's a very different time from when many of us were born. We remember the times were not like that. So in this day and age, of course, this is not going to be sustainable for the future. These resources were not just meant for us, they were always there for the future generations. And not just for the humans, but the earth belonged to all the species that lived here, right? That are living here, that lived in the past, that were going to live here in the future. So now when we see this mindless human existence and human-centric life, on the planet, these gatekeepers, which are dragons, they are rising because they are assisting Mother Earth in her ascension process. So from the 3D consciousness to the 5D consciousness, as Mother Earth is ascending, only beings that align with the 5D consciousness in the future, perhaps when you and I will not even be around, will only be able to exist on this planet, because it's going to host a higher consciousness. So when this is happening, as twin flames, as spiritual seekers, we are the ones who also hold the light in our human vessels when we start awakening, right? We assist the collective ascension by going through this ascension ourselves. We become like these points of light within us. So when these dragons awaken, and this is perhaps why they were appearing in my dream state also, and for many twin flames as well, this will be very relevant, that this is also about taking our power back from the unconscious patterns, behaviors, from societal conditioning, from the right and wrong sorts of energies. For centuries, the feminine has been suppressed. For centuries, the truth has been suppressed, right? Our independent way of being has always been very difficult. If in the past, we've all heard countless stories of maybe the witch trials, or many other stories across cultures, across religions, of how individuality is basically punished. We are not allowed to be ourselves. Currently, so many traditional societies are going through this, where the new generations, they don't want to conform to the older ways of existing, such as many people are rejecting institutions like marriage, or 9 to 5 jobs, and many such things that were built on very flimsy structures are not flying with people anymore, right? This whole thing is basically symptomatic of the consciousness which is awakening, which is asking us to be our true selves, right? And the dragon's awakening is basically the cosmic support that is available. Dragons awakening as the gatekeepers of Mother Earth, they are here to create a rebalance of powers, a redistribution of resources, which is what we are going to notice, that from those that are only in the consciousness of greed or self profit, and they cannot think of others, they don't have any empathy, or they still believe in usurping power and holding on to power and all of that. A redistribution of that power is going to take place, because this way of existing is causing total depletion on the planet. So this is what the dragons are here to help Mother Earth reverse. So we will see this, we will see a power rising in us and within you also. If you ever feel deflated by external structures, and I will also say family can be such an important external structure that we, through our emotional blocks sometimes, or our emotional, the cloudiness that the emotions cause, we are not able to see how even systems that impose themselves on us can become prisons, right? Guilt is such an enforcer of this imprisonment with our families, with our culture, with our community, with maybe our religion. We are made to feel guilty, about wanting an individual existence. Or how dare you want to exist as you are when that is not permitted by society? And yesterday when I was contemplating on it, as someone who did not go through this as a straight woman, I did not experience this, but I was also thinking this was also the struggle of so many people who are homosexuals, so many people who are gays would have also gone through the same experience, and of not having been accepted by society. Right now, of course, there is a greater acceptance of it. Or of women in the past, when women were not seen as equal members of society, and women had to just exist in the shadows. So now as individuals we are rising, and this dragon energy is something you can call upon. If you feel you are waking up from a system of control, from the matrix, from conditioning, from guilt, coming from maybe your family, especially in traditional cultures, that, oh, why are you like this? Why aren't you like that? Why aren't you more like this person? All that type of stuff, if you're leaving behind, I know it is very hard. From my own personal experience, I know how difficult it is, especially in a traditional, family-oriented or a community-oriented system, to wake up from that and to assert yourself as an individual without you really necessarily trying to assert yourself in front of people, but it's just the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to be your divine self. This is what the dragons are also bringing in. The more you embody this freedom, you will also become the vessel that can hold, power, that can hold light, the power that is not something that excludes others. It's not power over other people or power over other beings to feel superior. It's basically holding responsibility. Power is responsibility. So once you wake up from this, you can hold the responsibility, you can hold the keys for the waking up of the collective consciousness of humanity, right? So dragons are here to assist us in this. You can connect with these dragons that are rising from the ocean beds that were asleep there for very long. And this is also to connect with your own inner dragon, to also connect, with your own inner voice. It can also be to not suppress emotions, such as emotions like rage. They're often called incorrect. Like spirituality is love and light. That is not, what spirituality is. Spirituality is not weak. So many spiritual teachers try to teach spirituality, including twin flame coaches can, perpetuate this, that It's love and light spirituality. You're just supposed to be this divine being who doesn't have any right to her own emotions. That's not true, right? You are going through your own emotions. You are understanding, what your emotions are expressing to you. Like rage very often tells us where our boundaries have been infringed upon, where we've not stood up for ourselves, what needs to change in our lives. That's what anger very often points us towards. So we don't have to vilify anger. We don't have to reject anger. So to be spiritual does not mean to be a pushover. To surrender does not mean to become helpless. Okay, so don't conflate these things in case you've been conflating this. It means true spiritual awakenings include an integration of the duality of love and light, and also darkness and death. Okay, so twin flames go through darkness and death to understand the significance of that descent into the darkness that has to be integrated, right? Then you become a wholesome, the yin yang collective is only possible, like the yin and the yang coming together is only possible when darkness has been integrated rather than been bypassed. So don't bypass your dark emotions. This is what the dragon energy also tells us, that this is where your power lies. Your power lies in where maybe you have fear, maybe where you have anger, maybe where you have helplessness still stored in your system, right? So this is the message, and embrace this journey as something very powerful happening to you. Don't think that spirituality is making you weak, that it now means that you're supposed to just sit on a pedestal and you're supposed to be blessing everybody, and you're not supposed to be feeling anything negative or going through your own inner turmoil. Then that is not spirituality. That is a pretense of spirituality. We are not here to pretend and play spiritual games. That's not what this life is about. That's not what this journey is about at all. So yes, allow the darkness, allow a voice to your inner darkness. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you are in a lot of darkness, which sometimes twin flames enter into, always remember the divine is more powerful than the darkness, because the darkness is also a part of the divine. The divine is, the whole collective energy that encompasses, that subsumes the darkness. So even when you go through darkness, there's nothing to be afraid of in case you're afraid of that darkness. Okay? And through so many archetypes of spiritual liberation, of spiritual transformation, whether it's the dark goddesses, we realize and we learn about how spirituality is about taking your power back. It is about becoming the creator. It is about walking away from that which binds us in the name of love and belonging, in the name of conditional love and conditional belonging. Systems like societal approval, family approval, friend group approval, LinkedIn approval can bind us. Do not seek approval from these places or any such places, please. Even if this means you're walking alone and no one likes you, people think, what the hell are you doing here? Why are you even here? You must remember that your right to exist is not dependent on what the society says. Conventionally, for so many centuries, especially women, especially so many other people also, would have believed that it's the society that has to accept me. The society, like all the modern activists, they fight for acceptance from society. When truly, if you are a spiritual revolutionary, if you're going through a spiritual transformation, you do not seek that acceptance from society. I'm not seeking for the law to be changed to make someone like me, acceptable. Like that itself has a lot of significance in the real world, yes. But as a spiritual seeker, our fight is not with the external structures. Our fight is basically not to have approval of the external structures. It is to bypass the need for external structures altogether, right? So bypass your intrinsic need for approval from the external structures. And these structures can be very well people that are very close to you, that may start disapproving of you because you are walking this strange twin flame journey that you can't explain to anybody. or the spiritual ascension that no one else understands. No one in your neighborhood is going through this, no one in your family group, etc., is experiencing this, friend group, people that you know. So leave all of that behind with confidence. That is what a spiritual awakening demands. It needs a lot of courage. So dragons are rising. They are embodying this courage for Mother Earth's ascension, and they are also supporting us. You may be connecting to dragon imagery. So this also goes to show that so much support is available, because when we walk this path, we can feel like there's no one supporting us. So when these energies rise, they tell us we are supported. You are walking with the divine in many myriad forms in which the divine is expressing to assist you in your higher consciousness. If you wish to work one-on-one with me, click on the first link in the description box. See the types of sessions that I offer. We go very deep in these sessions. I channel your guides. We do deep healing work. We work with your shadows, because shadows can be the next step for you. What is basically blocking you from moving ahead in your journey, especially in your twin flame journey. Click on the second link to access my Patreon page. I post at tier 1 and tier 2 levels. If you subscribe to tier 2, you get access to everything I post. These are very detailed videos. If you resonate with my content here, definitely check out Patreon. And at the tier 2 level, for a whole month, you get access to everything I posted so far. So you can explore the entire page for a month. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care.